Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to share with you an insight that has the potential to change the way we think about muscle weakness, particularly in our legs. Many of us might assume that leg weakness is purely a matter of aging or inactivity. However, the reality is far more intricate and, frankly, more empowering. There's a fascinating and crucial relationship between our hormonal health and the strength of our muscles, particularly in the legs. While we often attribute leg weakness to factors like aging, lack of exercise, or injuries, emerging research is uncovering a deeper and often underappreciated cause: hormonal imbalances. Understanding this hidden link can profoundly influence how we approach not just leg strength, but overall health and resilience. At the center of this connection is the idea that hormones are the body's chemical messengers orchestrating a wide array of physiological processes, including muscle growth, repair, and neuromuscular communication. When our hormones are balanced and functioning optimally, they create an environment in which our muscles can thrive, growing stronger, maintaining their mass, and functioning efficiently. However, when these hormonal signals become disrupted, the effects can be striking, leading to gradual but significant leg weakness. Let's consider why the legs are so particularly affected. The legs contain some of the largest and most metabolically active muscles in the body, muscles like the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calf muscles. These muscles require a substantial amount of energy and robust hormonal support to maintain their strength and function. Hormones like testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, play key roles in building and maintaining muscle fibers, supporting the repair and regeneration of tissues, and even influencing the neural pathways that control muscle contraction. But it's not just about growth, it's about the delicate balance between muscle protein synthesis and breakdown. In a healthy hormonal environment, there's a constant cycle of muscle building and repair. When hormones like testosterone and growth hormone are in balance, they stimulate the synthesis of new muscle proteins, helping to rebuild and fortify the leg muscles after everyday activities and exercise. When these hormones decline or become imbalanced, the rate of muscle breakdown can outpace repair, leading to a net loss of muscle strength and size. This hormonal link becomes even more significant when we consider the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol, while essential for daily function and stress adaptation, can become a major disruptor when chronically elevated. High levels of cortisol have been shown to increase muscle protein breakdown, directly leading to muscle atrophy. The legs, because of their size and frequent use, can be particularly vulnerable to this catabolic effect. Moreover, hormonal imbalances don't just affect muscle fibers, they also impact the brain's ability to communicate with the muscle. Hormones influence neurotransmitter activity, motor neuron firing rates, and the brain's ability to send clear, coordinated signals to the leg muscles. When hormones are disrupted, these neurological signals can become weaker or less reliable, manifesting as instability, reduced power, or even difficulty with coordination in the legs. The beauty of understanding this hidden link is that it shifts our mindset. Rather than simply accepting leg weakness as an inevitable consequence of aging or inactivity, we recognize it as a call to investigate and restore hormonal balance. By focusing on hormonal health, we can target one of the foundational drivers of muscle strength and stability, laying the groundwork for stronger legs, better mobility, and greater overall health. In sum, leg weakness is not just about muscle tissue itself, it's a reflection of how well the entire hormonal and neurological ecosystem is functioning. By addressing these hormonal imbalances, we not only improve the immediate symptoms of leg weakness, but also enhance the body's ability to thrive in the long term. One of the most significant and often overlooked factors behind weakening leg muscles is the role of cortisol, a hormone primarily known for its role in stress response. Cortisol is essential to our survival and plays a critical role in regulating energy metabolism, immune function, and even our sleep-wake cycles. However, when cortisol levels remain elevated for prolonged periods, often due to chronic stress or poor lifestyle habits, it becomes a double-edged sword, turning from a helpful tool to a silent saboteur of leg strength. Let's break down exactly how this works. Under normal circumstances, cortisol levels fluctuate throughout the day in a rhythm known as the cortisol awakening response. They peak in the morning to help us wake up and get going, then gradually taper off throughout the day, reaching their lowest levels at night. This natural rhythm helps us maintain energy, focus, and metabolic health. But when stressors are constant, like persistent psychological stress, poor sleep, or erratic eating patterns, cortisol can remain elevated well beyond its normal cycle. Chronic elevation of cortisol has a powerful and direct impact on muscle tissue, particularly in the legs. Cortisol's primary job during stress is to mobilize energy stores, ensuring that the body has enough fuel to handle the challenge. One way it does this is by promoting the breakdown of muscle protein into amino acids, which can be converted into glucose. This process, called gluconeogenesis, is life-saving in short bursts, such as during emergencies when we need quick energy, but becomes destructive when it persists. When cortisol remains high for too long, it continuously signals the body to break down muscle tissue for fuel, leading to what's known as muscle catabolism. Since the leg muscles are among the largest and most active in the body, they're particularly susceptible to this catabolic effect. Over time, this can manifest as visible loss of leg muscle size and more insidiously as a decline in leg power and endurance. Cortisol also indirectly affects leg strength by interfering with the production of other key anabolic hormones like testosterone and growth hormone. High cortisol suppresses the secretion of these hormones, tipping the balance even further away from muscle building and towards muscle breakdown. This hormonal imbalance creates a scenario where it becomes increasingly difficult for the legs to maintain their strength and stability. Moreover, cortisol doesn't just influence the muscle fibers themselves, it also affects the nervous system's ability to activate those muscles. Elevated cortisol levels have been shown to impact neurotransmitter activity, particularly the pathways involving dopamine and acetylcholine, both of which are crucial for neuromuscular control. When these pathways are disrupted, the leg muscles receive weaker or less coordinated signals from the brain and spinal cord, contributing to a feeling of heaviness, shakiness, or decreased performance. The challenge with cortisol-related leg weakness is that it can be subtle at first. Maybe you notice that climbing stairs feels a bit harder or that your balance isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. But if left unaddressed, this weakening can progress, affecting not just athletic performance, but also day-to-day activities and even increasing the risk of falls and injuries. The good news is that recognizing the role of cortisol allows us to take proactive steps to restore balance. By incorporating strategies to lower chronic stress, such as deep breathing, meditation, exercise, and prioritizing high-quality sleep, we can bring cortisol back into its healthy rhythm. In doing so, we protect and even rebuild the strength of our legs, ensuring that they can continue to support us in all aspects of life. Testosterone and estrogen are often discussed in the context of reproductive health, but their roles extend far beyond that. Both of these hormones play fundamental roles in maintaining the health and strength of our muscles, especially in the legs, and they do so in both men and women. Their influence on leg strength isn't just about how big or strong your muscles appear, it's about how these muscles function, repair themselves, and respond to everyday movement and physical demands. Testosterone is often referred to as the muscle-building hormone, and for good reason. It acts directly on muscle tissue, stimulating protein synthesis, the process by which muscle fibers are repaired and strengthened after use. In the legs, which contain some of the largest muscles in the body, testosterone ensures that these fibers remain thick, strong, and capable of generating power. This is true for both men and women, although the levels of testosterone differ between the sexes. But testosterone does more than just support muscle size. It also influences the density and health of motor neurons, the nerve cells that control muscle contraction. When testosterone levels are optimal, the communication between the brain and the leg muscles becomes sharper and more efficient. This ensures that the leg muscles can respond quickly and powerfully to the commands sent by the nervous system, which is essential for activities ranging from walking and running to maintaining balance on uneven surfaces. Estrogen, on the other hand, is often underappreciated when it comes to muscle strength. Many people think of estrogen solely in the context of reproductive health, but it plays an equally crucial role in neuromuscular health, particularly in women. Estrogen enhances the ability of muscle tissue to repair itself and helps regulate the metabolic processes that keep muscle cells healthy. In the legs, estrogen supports the blood flow and nutrient delivery needed for optimal muscle function and recovery. Beyond these direct effects on muscle tissue, both testosterone and estrogen play important roles in maintaining the integrity of connective tissue in the legs. Connective tissues like tendons and ligaments are critical for joint stability and efficient force transfer during movement. Healthy levels of testosterone and estrogen help keep these tissues strong and flexible, reducing the risk of injuries that can compromise leg strength over time. When these hormones are imbalanced, whether due to natural aging, stress, or other factors, the effects on leg strength become more pronounced. Lower testosterone levels, for example, are associated with a gradual decline in muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia. This can start as early as our 30s and accelerates with age. For women, the decline in estrogen that accompanies menopause can lead to similar losses in muscle mass and neuromuscular function, contributing to feelings of leg fatigue or weakness. But the story doesn't end there. Because these hormones also modulate inflammation and cellular repair, imbalances can slow down recovery after physical activity, making it harder to rebuild leg strength. Even mild declines in these hormones can set off a cycle of reduced muscle use, further weakening the legs and making it increasingly difficult to stay active and mobile. The encouraging part is that this knowledge empowers us to take action. Strategies that support natural hormone balance, like strength training, proper nutrition, sleep, and stress reduction, can help mitigate the loss of testosterone and estrogen's protective effects on the legs. In some cases, medical interventions or hormone therapy may be appropriate under a doctor's supervision, especially when hormone levels have declined significantly. Ultimately, understanding the roles of testosterone and estrogen in leg strength broadens our view of what it means to keep our bodies strong and healthy. It's not just about exercise or diet, it's about creating an environment where these hormones can do their job, protecting the health of our leg muscles, supporting our mobility, and enabling us to move through life with confidence and resilience. Hormonal imbalances do not merely affect the physical aspect of muscle tissue, they also profoundly influence the nervous system's control over those muscles. This is particularly relevant to leg strength, as the ability to move and stabilize our legs depends on the seamless integration of the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerve. When hormones are out of balance, this intricate neuromuscular coordination can falter, leading to a subtle but significant decline in leg strength and function. To understand this connection, let's consider how the nervous system communicates with leg muscle. It all begins in the brain, where motor neurons generate electrical impulses that travel down the spinal cord and branch out to reach the leg muscles. These impulses trigger the release of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that tell muscle fibers when to contract and relax. The speed, timing, and intensity of these signals determine everything from how powerfully you can push off the ground to how gracefully you can maintain your balance. Hormones like testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and growth hormone each play critical roles in regulating this neuromuscular signaling. For example, testosterone and estrogen help maintain the health of motor neurons and support the growth of synapses, the junctions where nerve signals are transmitted to muscle fibers. When levels of these hormones are adequate, the communication pathways between your brain and leg muscles operate with precision and efficiency. Your legs feel strong, responsive, and stable. Cortisol, on the other hand, can disrupt these pathways when it remains chronically elevated. High cortisol levels interfere with neurotransmitter synthesis and reduce the sensitivity of muscle fibers to these chemical signals. This creates a scenario in which the leg muscles may still have the capacity to generate force, but the signals that tell them when and how to do so become weaker or less coordinated. The result can be a feeling of heaviness in the legs, a delay in muscle activation, or an increased risk of stumbling during everyday activities. Growth hormone and insulin, like growth factor 1, IGF-1, also contribute to this complex dance. They support the repair and regeneration of nerve cells and help maintain the structural integrity of the synapses that connect nerves to muscle. When levels of these hormones decline, whether due to stress, aging, or lifestyle factors, this repair process can slow down, further compromising the brain-to-muscle communication that underpins leg strength. The beauty and challenge of the neuromuscular system is that it is constantly adapting to the signals it receives. When hormones are balanced, these signals are clear and consistent, promoting efficient muscle contractions and smooth movement. When hormones are out of balance, the signals become fragmented or muffled, leading to a sense of leg weakness or instability that may not be immediately explained by muscle mass alone. This highlights an important point. Leg weakness is not just about the size of your muscles, it's also about how well your nervous system and muscles work together. It's entirely possible to have well-developed leg muscles that still feel weak or unsteady if the hormonal environment is not supporting optimal neuromuscular signaling. Fortunately, this is an area where targeted interventions can make a difference. Practices like resistance training not only strengthen the muscles but also enhance the sensitivity of motor neurons and improve neurotransmitter function. Adequate sleep, stress reduction, and good nutrition further support the hormonal balance needed for this system to thrive. Understanding this connection between hormones and neuromuscular function empowers us to look beyond the surface. It encourages us to care for the entire system, muscles, nerves, and hormones alike, so that our legs can remain strong, agile, and responsive to the demands of daily life and physical activity. Sleep and circadian rhythms are intimately tied to the hormonal balance that underpins leg strength. While it might seem surprising at first, these nightly and daily cycles act as master regulators for nearly every physiological system in the body, including the hormones that directly impact muscle mass and neuromuscular function. Disruptions in these natural rhythms can subtly but profoundly weaken our legs over time. Let's start with sleep itself. During deep sleep, especially in the slow-wave sleep phases, the body undergoes a remarkable process of repair and regeneration. Growth hormone, a key anabolic hormone, is released in pulses during these stages of sleep. This hormone promotes the repair of muscle fibers that are stressed during daily activity and exercise. In the legs, where large and frequently used muscles need constant maintenance, this nightly surge of growth hormone is essential for keeping those muscles strong, resilient, and ready for the next day's demand. Testosterone, another hormone crucial for muscle maintenance in both men and women, also sees its highest secretion during sleep, particularly during the early hours of the night. Disrupted or shortened sleep reduces these hormonal surges, leading to less effective muscle repair and slower recovery. Over time, this can manifest as a noticeable decline in leg strength, even if exercise habits haven't changed. Equally important is the role of sleep in regulating cortisol. While cortisol naturally fluctuates throughout the day, poor sleep quality or an irregular sleep schedule can lead to chronically elevated cortisol levels. As discussed earlier, high cortisol not only promotes muscle breakdown but also interferes with the nervous system's control over the muscle. When sleep is compromised, cortisol remains elevated longer than it should, tipping the balance away from muscle building and towards muscle atrophy. But it's not just about sleep duration, it's also about the circadian rhythms that regulate nearly every aspect of our biology. These rhythms, set by the body's internal clock in the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, influence when hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol are released. When we align our daily activities with these natural rhythms, waking up with morning light, eating meals at consistent times, and winding down before bed, hormone release is optimized, supporting leg strength and overall health. When circadian rhythms are disrupted by staying up too late, exposure to artificial light at night, or irregular sleep schedules, these hormonal patterns become disorganized. This disruption can blunt the peak releases of anabolic hormones and prolong the presence of catabolic hormones like cortisol. The result? A gradual but steady erosion of leg muscle strength and coordination. Moreover, circadian misalignment affects how the nervous system coordinates muscle activity in the legs. Studies have shown that when circadian rhythms are out of sync, reaction times and neuromuscular efficiency decline. This makes movements feel more labored and balance more precarious, two clear signs of leg weakness that can increase the risk of falls and injuries. The silver lining is that sleep and circadian rhythms are among the most modifiable aspects of our physiology. Simple strategies can restore these rhythms and in turn support the hormones that keep our leg muscles strong. Prioritizing regular bedtimes and wake-up times, limiting blue light exposure in the evening, and ensuring plenty of morning light exposure can help recalibrate the body's clock. Likewise, practices like stress management and good sleep hygiene can lower cortisol and promote the restorative hormonal cycles that legs depend on. Ultimately, the interplay between sleep, circadian rhythms, and hormonal balance underscores a central truth. Our legs, and indeed our entire musculoskeletal system, are only as strong as the daily and nightly rhythms that guide them. By nurturing these rhythms, we can reclaim leg strength, enhance stability, and move with confidence throughout our lives. The good news is that while hormonal imbalances can quietly undermine leg strength, they are not a one-way street. There are many evidence-based strategies to restore hormonal harmony and, in doing so, rebuild the robust leg muscles that support not just movement, but independence and vitality. One of the most powerful strategies is incorporating regular strength training. Weight-bearing exercises like squats, lunges, and deadlifts directly stimulate the production of testosterone and growth hormone, which are critical for muscle maintenance and repair. These exercises don't just build muscle fibers, they also activate the neural pathways that control the legs, enhancing the precision and power of leg movement. In men and women alike, studies consistently show that resistance training increases testosterone levels and improves the anabolic environment, tipping the balance back toward muscle growth. In addition to exercise, nutrition plays an indispensable role. Adequate protein intake is essential for muscle protein synthesis, the very process that hormones like testosterone and growth hormone are trying to drive. Amino acids from dietary protein act as the raw materials for muscle repair, and without them, even the best hormonal signals can't produce results. Beyond protein, micronutrients like vitamin D, zinc, and magnesium also play critical roles in supporting testosterone production and neuromuscular health. Ensuring a well-rounded diet that includes these nutrients can make a significant difference in both hormonal balance and leg strength. Another essential piece of the puzzle is sleep. As mentioned previously, deep, restorative sleep is when growth hormone peaks and muscle recovery occurs. Developing a consistent sleep routine, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, helps maintain circadian rhythms that govern hormone release. If sleep is poor, cortisol remains elevated, creating an environment that breaks down rather than builds up leg muscle. Simple sleep hygiene practices, such as limiting caffeine intake in the afternoon, creating a cool, dark sleep environment, and winding down with relaxation techniques, can dramatically improve both sleep quality and hormonal balance. Managing stress is also crucial. Chronic psychological stress keeps cortisol elevated, undermining muscle health. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation, yoga, and even regular social connection have been shown to reduce cortisol and restore the balance of anabolic hormones like testosterone and growth hormone. These practices also support the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state that allows for healing and regeneration, exactly what the leg muscles need to stay strong. For some people, particularly as they age, more targeted approaches may be help. Hormone replacement therapy (HRT) can be a valuable tool in restoring optimal levels of testosterone or estrogen, particularly during menopause or andropause. However, these interventions should always be done under medical supervision, weighing the potential benefits and risks. Personalized, comprehensive care can help individuals safely restore hormonal balance and leg strength. Lastly, consistency is key. Hormonal imbalances and their effects on leg strength do not happen overnight, nor can they be reversed instantly. It's the small daily actions, regular workouts, balanced meals, restful sleep, and mindful stress reduction that over time create an environment in which hormones can return to their natural balance. In doing so, they give the leg muscles the support they need to grow stronger, more coordinated, and more resilient. The empowering takeaway is this: we are not powerless in the face of hormonal imbalance. With intention and commitment, we can recalibrate these delicate systems and regain not just the physical strength of our legs, but also the confidence and mobility that allow us to live life fully and actively. In the end, restoring hormonal balance is not just about leg strength, it's about creating a foundation for whole body health and well-being. In closing, it's clear that the gradual weakening of our leg muscles is not simply a matter of aging or inactivity. It's often a direct consequence of imbalances in critical hormones like cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, and even the daily rhythms that govern their release. These hormonal messengers orchestrate how our muscles grow, repair, and respond to the nervous system's signals. When they're in sync, they create an environment where our leg muscles remain strong, responsive, and supportive. But when these hormones are out of balance due to stress, poor sleep, inadequate nutrition, or simply the wear and tear of modern life, our legs become more vulnerable to fatigue, instability, and injury. What's truly hopeful is that we have far more control over these processes than we might think. By prioritizing resistance training, we can directly stimulate the hormonal signals that drive leg strength. By refining our diets to include the nutrients that these hormones rely on, we provide the raw materials needed for muscle repair and growth. Managing stress through techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and social connection helps lower cortisol, shifting the hormonal environment from one of breakdown to one of rebuilding. Ensuring that we respect the natural rhythms of sleep and circadian biology further amplifies the positive effects of these other practices. These interventions aren't complicated, but they do require consistency and awareness. It's not about a single workout or a quick fix. It's about daily choices that support a body-wide environment of growth and resilience. In doing so, we're not just strengthening our legs, we're also laying the foundation for overall well-being, energy, and longevity. So if you've noticed that your legs feel a bit weaker lately, remember, it's not just in your head or your muscles, it could be a sign that your hormones need attention. And the good news is that by tuning into this powerful system through exercise, nutrition, stress management, and sleep, you can restore that essential balance. You can reclaim the stability, strength, and confidence in your legs that allow you to move through life with ease and purpose. Let this knowledge serve as both a call to action and a source of hope. Your body is designed to heal, rebuild, and adapt, even in the face of hormonal challenges. With the right strategies and a commitment to daily self-care, your legs and your entire body can regain the strength and vitality you deserve. The takeaway is this: leg weakness is not simply a byproduct of aging, it's a signal that your hormones, your brain, and your daily habits are out of sync. By addressing these core issues, we can not only restore leg strength, but also enhance overall mobility, vitality, and resilience. Thank you.